So we'll be starting now. So hello, this is Shubhra Roy. I have secured All India rank 147 in this year's UPSC CSC examination. And how I have structured this is that first I'll be giving you some brief about my educational background and my attempts. And then what I'll be doing is going into detail for preparation strategies for each of the stages: prelims, mains, and interview. And what I've done is I've structured it in a way that all the doubts that I received on my Instagram and my Telegram channel, I have incorporated them in the discussion. And what I'll do after that is that if more doubts are still left, I will be taking them. I've gotten a list of questions, and then I'll be taking some from the live as well. So we'll start now. So, giving you a brief about my educational background, I grew up in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So, I've done my 10th from City Montessori School, Lucknow, and my 12th from St. Michael's High School, Patna. I took commerce in my 11th and 12th, and post that, I did honors in economics from Lakshmi Bai College, Delhi University. So, because of this background, my optional in this journey was also economics. So, now coming to my attempts, uh, this was my fifth attempt overall. And in my fourth attempt, I had gotten into Indian Railway Traffic Service through the reserve list. And this year now it's rank 147. So I'll give you a brief about how my journey has been and what were the mistakes that I made. So starting with the first attempt, this was right after college. It was in 2021. So here, what had happened is that I had scored 64 in prelims. I did not have a very thorough preparation. There was so much about the examination that I had still not figured out. So, and the cutoff, from what I can recall, was around 87. So I did not manage to clear prelims in my first attempt. But what had happened is because it was a COVID year, so the prelims was delayed. So it was in October, and we got our results somewhere around November. And so because I was so scared that I was not able to clear the first stage itself, that I then shifted completely to prelims from December itself. So what happened in my second attempt in 2022 was that I managed to clear prelims, and I had scored 129 that year because I had prepared so thoroughly for prelims. But then the issue was that I had not paid much attention to mains. So what happened is then in the mains, I was a bit clueless, and I did not clear that stage. And I remember I scored 712, and the cutoff was around 748. So I had missed it by 36 marks. But because I felt that, okay, I'm still close, I'm in 700. So I went for another attempt. That was my third attempt. And that was in 2023. So I managed to clear prelims that year. Again, my scores were in 120s. It was 125 for that year. And then what happened is that I was dealing with certain health issues. So whatever gaps that I'd identified in my first mains, I was not really able to implement them. So my scores remained pretty much the same. It was still around 700. So post this attempt, I had to take a tough call whether I wanted to continue in the preparation cycle or do something else. So here is also what people ask me often, that how did you get the motivation to sustain a relatively long journey? So for me, one of the things was this, that whatever gaps I'd identified, I was not able to implement it. So I did not want to leave the preparation cycle with a regret that, like I knew what to do, but I was not able to do it. So I just didn't want that regret later in life. So because of it, I went for a fourth attempt. And here in mains, I was finally able to work on the gaps that I had identified. So I cleared my first mains in my fourth attempt. And then I went on to the interview stage. But here's what happened is that I scored 939, and that was 8 marks short of the final list for general category. So this was I would say, the lowest moment of my entire preparation cycle. I was like, I was this close, and it has still not happened for me. So this is where I felt like I'm done. Uh, I did not want to give any more attempts. I was like, if it's a sign, because at that time it felt like I would miss the second list, which is the reserve list, also by 1 or 2 marks. So I felt that it's not fair and probably I should just leave. It's a sign for me to leave. So, but here, my mother and some of my friends really pushed me that no, you're close. So give another attempt, and and that's how I gave my fifth attempt, and this was the attempt that I gave with the most detachment possible. I was not expecting anything, and which is a very important lesson that I've learned through my journey. Is sometimes you get the results when you are least expecting it, and you're the most detached. So that was my attempt story. Uh, Now coming to, I would start with the prelims. I would take the prelims doubts and the strategies. So, starting with the strategy, what I had done was when I started, the first thing that I did was prepare a book list. So, what I did for this is I watched topper strategy videos. 4 or 5 of them I must have watched, and whatever was common in that, I noted it. And for example, I would be sharing my book list from that. So starting with polity, for polity, what I'd refer to was the two NCRTs and the Lakshmikant only. And from NCRTs also, what I had done is that I'd prepared certain uh, like flash notes, short notes, because you get those terms like what is liberty, what is fraternity, and that's very well explained in the NCRTs. So I made notes of that, and then Lakshmikant was there. For geography, I only did the NCRTs, the two NCRTs that are there, Indian geography and physical geography. So that was it for geography, and mapping and all I did from YouTube videos mostly. So that was you will, if you go on YouTube, you will see that there is PW only IS that uploads it. An Academy also has videos on it. So mapping was mostly done from that. Then for environment, what I had referred to was Shankar IS, and then the current I used to do from PT 365. And one more additional thing I did was the biology NCRT. So that was there. So biology NCRT I had done for environment. Then for history, this was from what I identified the most challenging part of my preparation because nothing felt enough. Most of the questions that I used to leave were from history section only. So I had actually tried to do multiple sources, which I don't recommend, especially for ancient medieval and art and culture. So art and culture, what I had done was I had done both the old NCRTs and the new NCRTs, and I had made my own short notes from that, and it was mostly based on the chronology, like which kingdom came after what, and you can get that idea from PYQs, what kind of questions they are asking, and then you can make your own notes according to that. For modern history, it was Spectrum only. So that was there. For art and culture, I refer to Nitin Singhania. It's again a bulky book. So what I would suggest is see what chapters are important. Like if you go through it, you will know that that Buddhism and Jainism questions are asked all the time. Architecture is important. So those chapters you can prioritize, and rest you can skip. So that is manageable. For science and tech, again, like I refer to that biology NCRT, and there are certain chapters in that which are important for biotechnology. So that you can refer to, and otherwise it's mostly current. So I had done. There was prelims compass released by Rao's IS earlier, so I used to do that, and then I shifted to PT 365 for it. So that was my source for science and tech. For international relations, I would say that again, it's a very current oriented part. So I used to refer to the booklet only. PT 365 was there. And mapping you can do from, again, YouTube channels. Sleepy Classes has it. Again, PW Only IS, Shunya IS, any of them, like they'll have compilations of international mapping. So you can refer to it. And right before prelims also, they release videos on this, which are very helpful in my opinion. So that you can see. Then coming to economics, because I had a background in economics, so I had not referred to any static book, so I would not be able to recommend any. But what I did in economics is that I focused on the government schemes portion, which again you will get the compilations. PT 365 is there. Insights IS also has it, so you can do it from there. And then in terms of more dynamic portions, there's economic survey and there's budget. So Vision IS has a summary of it. So I used to do it from there, and also coachings come up with the videos Next IS also has it, so you can watch it for better understanding. And the current trend questions, which tend to be asked in prelims, you can do it from that. So my economics preparation was mostly current based because of my background. But if you're not from that, then I would highly advise that you read the static as well. Now coming to the current affairs part, this is again something which I get asked a lot, that what is the strategy for current affairs. So for current affairs, I did not read the newspapers thoroughly. For the prelims and mains part, I did it very well for interview, because again, you need to have your own opinions on the ongoing issues. But for current affairs, I had a daily, monthly, weekly kind of strategy. So on a daily basis, what I used to do was that I used to brush through the newspapers and just see what are the headings. And then at the end of the day, I would watch a daily news analysis. You can pick any coaching for that. I used to watch Vajirams. So you are in touch with what is happening on a daily basis. And then also, if you get additional time, as a part of break, I used to do it. That there was Vantage by Palki Sharma on First Post. So I used to watch either that or Cut the Clutter by The Print. So you are in touch with what is ongoing. So once you do this, what happens is, then if you revise from the monthly compilations or the yearly compilations, it won't feel like a lot, because you already know what is happening. And somebody is asking what. Okay. So for the timeline, I would say that last 1 year current affair is the most important. So first prioritize that. Don't go beyond it. 2 years, 3 years, don't go beyond it. If you are targeting an attempt, for example, if you're targeting 2029 or something, then don't start with current affairs. Like, don't make notes out of it. Don't, like, you can read it to be in touch with it, because developing that habit also takes time. But the notes and all would become pointless in my opinion. So like last 1 year is the most important. So earlier what I used to do was, I tried to do the monthly compilations, but what was happening was that I was not able to revise it. And one of the key rules that I have of studying anything is that you should be able to revise it, otherwise it's pointless. You will not remember it for prelims, you will not remember it for mains. So monthly compilations, I stopped doing that. Then at the end, like before prelims or before mains, I used to do the compilations only. PT 365 is there, mains 365 is there. So that used to take care of the current affairs portion. One additional thing that I did for my own sanity was that I used to make notes from Indian Express monthly compilations. Explained ka aata hai, and I used to do it because it contains those terms or some mapping areas and something, and I could see that questions are being framed on that. So I used to make those for a year. Suppose prelims is in May 2026, so May 2025 say I used to make it. So that was how I prepared for current affairs thoroughly. Now coming to CSAT, now we are seeing that CSAT has also become an issue recently, and especially this year also it was really tough. So for me, I had scored in 90s for 4 of my attempts. It was only in 2023, when it was again an exceptionally tough paper, that I cleared it at the cutoff. I had 68. Otherwise, last year 2025, I again had 99. So I had the same strategy. That's why similar scores in all my prelims, which was that we know that 33% you have to score, so around 67. And there are three sections: English comprehension, quant, and LR, logical reasoning is there. So I identified what my strength areas were. For example, I was good at English comprehension and I was good at logical reasoning. And quant was something which I struggled with, because again, it's a bit complicated. You have to remember formulas and shortcuts and all. So I did not want to give that much time to it. So what I did was I identified what were the topics that I could do. For example, you can't completely leave a section also. So for quant, what I did was number system I enjoyed. So I prepared that. Ratio and proportion was there. Probability is there. Speed, time, distance. So just the basic formulas of that. I had a formula sheet. So that was covered. And then for LR also, like you can select the topics. So there was blood relations, ranking and order, directions, or sitting arrangements. You can pick according to that. So that is there. Now I will come to how to attempt the paper. So in GS1, what? So again, there are 100 questions. So what I used to do was I used to solve the questions in rounds. I had 2 rounds. I decided that I will only do 2 rounds. So in the first round, I used to mark the questions on OMR, which I was 100% sure of, and which I also knew that even if I reviewed it, I would mark the same answer. So those questions I marked in the first round. So they used to come to about 35, 40 questions. And then in the second round, I used to do the remaining. So my target used to be somewhere around 85. So in the second round, then again, I would take around 40, 45 questions so that it comes to that number. You cannot set a particular number because the paper difficulty level varies year to year. So I remember in 2022, I did around 82 questions because I could not eliminate more than that. And then in 2023, I remember I went till 88 because I was guessing a lot. So I was like, okay, then I'll have to increase my attempts. So you can decide according to you'll get it in the examination hall. You'll get that instinct that whether you have to mark more or less. And of course, you'll practice in your test. So you can develop a strategy through that as well. Now coming to the tests, I'm also often asked that how many tests to give, and should we give subject wise or FLTs. So what I used to do was that subject wise tests also I used to give, but they were part of my revision. That suppose I'm revising polity. So what I would do is I've suppose dedicated 4 days to polity. So what I would do is that at the end of the 4 days, I would give a subject wise test of polity to see how much I remember. And then suppose I'm getting wrong answers from a particular chapter, say parliament, then I know that I have to go back and revise parliament. So it used to be part of my revision cycle. So that's how I used to schedule the tests subject wise. And then in the last 2 months that were there, I used to shift to FLTs because then you have to be in the mode of switching from one subject to another. So I used to do. So what I used to give was forum simulators were there. So I did that, and a vision abhyas was there, which used to be at the center. So I used to give 3 vision abhyas, and forum simulators were around 8 to 10. So that was the total number of FLTs that I did for prelims. For CSAT also, I would say that PYQs are good source, like 3, 4 years you can do. But for new questions also, you should give at least 3 tests of CSAT because again, it's become more difficult in the recent years. So I would say that please don't ignore that also. So that was there. And then one of the questions that I'm often asked is how I managed to score 40, 50 marks above the cutoff. So for that, 3, 4 things were there, which were part of my prelim strategy that I were non-negotiables for me. So the first was PYQs. So because you can get a lot of idea from what kind of questions they frame and how are they making a statement incorrect. So I feel that PYQs are very, very important, and I used to do it in 2 ways. One was chronology wise, so 2011 till 2025 say is there. So I used to solve them like that, and I used to observe that kitne questions kis area se aa rahe hain, how they are framing the statements. So if you do that, you get in the habit of identifying how they are framing wrong answers, what are the traps set by UPSC. It's sort of in a way intelligent guessing, that knack you develop once you do PYQs like that. And subject wise also I used to do Disha publications compilation is there. So but subject wise was again part of revision schedule. So suppose if I'm studying polity, I would solve the PYQs, all the PYQs of polity. So that was there. So PYQs was the first pillar. Second was being in that practice zone. So what happens is what we usually do is that we keep on reading, but we don't apply it. So MCQs, because we are scared of the scores. So for me, scores were never really an issue. I did not used to get worried about scores and all. Initially, yes, but then later I had let go of that fear. So I really enjoy doing MCQs. So as to solve it doesn't have to be a full test. You can just pick up from Telegram. You get tests and all, so you can just pick it up from there and then solve it like 10 questions, 15 questions a day while you're revising. So it also gives you that break. So MCQ practice was there. So that was the second pillar. Third was that having a wide knowledge base really helped me. So in my break also, I really enjoyed watching geopolitics or world history. So I had that diverse knowledge base. So that also really helped me in elimination and all. For example, I remember in 2022 there was a question which was about which countries are members of some organization of Turkic states and all, and one of the options was Armenia. So if you have basic knowledge of world history, you would know about Armenian genocide. So you would know that Armenia cannot be part of this alliance. So once you eliminated it, you reached to the right answer. So having that parallel knowledge also helps. So that was there. And fourth was my short notes. So what I'd done, that there are certain key themes that are repeated that we don't cover that much. For example, reports of international organizations is there, or like government schemes and their ministries, their then mapping portion, or cropping patterns, agricultural questions sometimes they have asked. For example, in 2020 there were a lot of questions from agriculture. So these neglected areas, if you have time again, then you can prepare short notes on that, and that also helps you in getting more and more questions right through knowledge. So because of all of this, I was able to score in 120s. So that is there. Now I think I've covered prelims quite comprehensively. One more thing that I get was that because this year's prelims was quite random, so should we change the sources? I would say no. That would be a bad idea, because you cannot keep running around with multiple sources, because you'll not be able to revise it, so it won't benefit you. So the static, I would say that stick to it, because you don't know how the next year's paper would be set. So you cannot throw away your static portion, and it becomes even more important because whatever 20, 30 questions, easy questions you are getting from the predictable sources, then you cannot afford to get that wrong. So I would say that no, don't change your sources because of this year's prelims. Second advice would be that stay calm. It is a relative exam, which we sometimes forget. There's no set marks that you have to get to qualify prelims. It will depend on the competition and the level of paper. So if it's a tough paper, for example, this year the prediction is that it'll go in 70s. So if it's you have to score that much only. So just don't run behind changing your sources and all. Just stay calm, and you will be able to get at least the easy questions right. So, and that should be enough. Some easy questions and some intelligent guessing should be enough to clear the overall cutoff. And third would be that I would say that keep practicing more, because when prelims comes in unpredictable, you need that exam taking strategy ability as well. For example, that if you're constantly solving MCQs and all, you will develop a knack. Okay, like if such kind of question is coming, how to tackle it and all. So just like keep practicing more. That would also be my advice for it. Uh, now I will now I will shift to mains, because I've covered prelims, and after mains, briefly I will discuss interview, and then I'll take the doubts as well from the live. So don't worry about that. So coming to the mains preparation, I will start with the GS1, and through it, I'll also explain how to make notes for it, because again, it's a very common query that I get. So, for example, there is the GS paper one, which includes history, there is society, and there is geography in that. And this is the paper which has the most overlap, I would say, with the prelims. So the book list is pretty much the same, except for society that we don't cover. So for example, in history, for culture, I again refer to Nitin Singhania only. For modern history, again, it was Spectrum. And for post independence and world history, I had referred to booklets from Vision IS, because they are sections which are not asked that much. Even this year, there was one question from world history. So I did not pay much attention to it. But again, you can cover all the PYQs and see what are the questions they are asking. And at least that should be prepared well. So, and in geography, again, it was physical geography is there, location of industry, such syllabus topics are there. So for that, again, NCRTs I did refer to. I also had joined Rouse QIP, so I had a booklet of geography from that. So that was my only source. Like I did this much, and in society, again, there are the syllabus topics is quite detailed. So what you have to make sure in mains is that whatever is mentioned in the syllabus is there in your notes. Some pointers on it is there in your notes. For example, urbanization is a topic and they have given issues and remedies. So now 10 issues you mention in your notes of urbanization and 10 solutions. So basically what you'll end up in means is that you'll have one set of base notes which will be more detailed, and they will be slightly bulky also. These are your primary notes. This is what you'll make first, and this should have pointers on every syllabus keyword. And also what would help here is the pyqs. That helps you to define from a syllabus heading what is the scope. For example, on urbanizations you can look at the questions and see what kind of questions they have asked, so that should be in your notes, because once it's asked there's a chance for them to go deeper on that segment, so that should be covered. And for it, what I used to refer to was that Forum IS has a very good compilation of mains pyqs, and it is segregated topic wise, so that helps a lot. So I had referred to it for pyqs. So for example, in culture also they have mentioned certain terms that are there, literature, architecture. So you have to make sure that even from Nitin Singhania, like specifically for architecture or literature, you have some pointers. For example, this year we were asked Harappan architecture, which is again a common question only. So if you have it in your notes, it becomes much easier to replicate it in the examination hall. So and now between that prelims and mains gap, you'll be able to make your short notes for revision, and they are very important for the end time revision. So you'll end up with two set of notes. One would be your bulky notes and one would be your short notes. I think I've discussed the sources for it. For society, I've not discussed. So for society, again, I had referred to Prahar for the syllabus-wise breakdown notes. I had made my own short notes in a way from Prahar, and I had Rouse QIP as well. So that was my base notes for society. That was what I had referred to. Uh, Coming to the current portion for GS1, again, only in geography and society you get current questions. So for society, again, there is a mains 365 social justice, so that would do. And in geography, environment and disaster management is where they are asking more current questions. So that also gets covered in the mains 365. So I think for GS1, I have covered mostly everything. Coming to GS2, I would say that this required a little bit of hit and trial from my end, because it's a bit bulky to prepare and there's a lot and it's current oriented also. So I struggled with GS2 a bit. So starting with polity, for polity, I had primarily referred to the Prahar booklets that are there, and I had also signed up for Dipin Sir's course in 2024. So I had notes from that. Sir had covered the important key areas that gets repeated in polity very well with current examples. So for polity and even for international relations, I had referred to Dipin Sir's notes only. For governance, what I done was again Prahar booklet was there for governance and social justice, and I'd also refer to mains 365 just to see that if something was not there in my notes and it was important or it was being repeated in the current affairs, so I did not want to miss it. So that was my sources for GS2. Here again, the syllabus is quite detailed. For example, federalism, you know that it's very often repeated. So what you need to make sure in your notes is that there are enough case studies in your notes so that you are able to quote it. Any thinker has said something, so that could also be used. In GS2, the value addition scope is there a lot because it's current oriented also, and case studies can also be quoted. So you need to make articles are there, so you need to make sure that they are incorporated in your notes as well. So that was how I prepared for GS2. Coming to GS3, again a bit of a dynamic paper and very difficult to score in it. I think for three, I've written four mains overall. I think for three of them, I was stuck around 80s, and that was a bit hurtful because economics was my option. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing that I'm still not able to cross like 90. This year, I finally managed to score 92 in it, and I'll state my sources. So what I done differently this time was that I was not just focused on economics. I wanted to make sure that the the portions which are more predictable. For example, in my opinion, agriculture is more predictable, disaster management is more predictable, and internal security is also more predictable. So I made sure that I focused on these areas as well. So for my sources, I had joined GS3 course at Sarthi IS. So I had referred to those notes for all the sections mostly, and whatever gaps that I could find, I covered with Means 365. So that was my primary source for GS3. Uh, and in this, also, I would say that for disaster management, I remember I had short notes because again, NDMA guidelines are very important, and there are around 10 disasters only. So you can easily predict it, and you can easily have very crisp notes for that. So wherever there's a scope of that, please do it. Please have very, very crisp notes, because then the replication becomes easier. You'll be able to replicate your notes in the actual exam. So that was there, and I focused, again, as I mentioned, focused more on internal security and agriculture this time, because economics had overlap with my paper 2 in optional. So I felt that I would be able to manage it, so that was there. So that was the source for it. And coming to GS4, again, here also the syllabus is very, very detailed. So what you have to do again is that every heading of the syllabus, you need to have notes of it. For example, probity is there. So what you can do is, in your notes, probity define होना चाहिए, उसके examples होने चाहिए, probity develop कैसे करें होना चाहिए, probity नहीं हो तो क्या challenges हैं, and some conclusion, which could be some report which has mentioned some quote about probity. Second ARC has that. So, stuff like that. So quotes also should be part of your GS4 ethics notes. For me, what I done was, my base notes were from Rouse QIP. It was Faizan sir's notes, which were quite detailed. You can pick any. The base notes can be from any coaching. Most of them will cover all the headings and everything. And whatever gaps you identify that, okay, something is not in your notes, what I used to do it was, I used to refer Prahar for that, or any booklet which you can find. I'm mentioning what I used. So for that, and then you would be able to have a very comprehensive set of base notes. So that was my criteria. And then for ethics, one more thing which you can do is that the short notes that you have, a lot of it would also contain civil servants examples. For example, they have started asking it specifically in questions to mention that. So that I used to collect. Better India website is there, and a lot of, again, coachings uploads short videos based on these things. So that is there for edge. And then again, I had certain diagrams also which could be used in case studies, because you get 4 or 5 pages and sometimes you don't have enough content. So compilation of those diagrams, so that was also there in my notes. In ethics specifically, what I would say is that PYQs are very, very important, because themes repeat hoti hain. There are only a certain types of case studies that can come. And syllabus was last changed in 2013. So they have pretty much exhausted the themes. So you need to really, really prepare the themes that they have asked in case studies very well. So you'll be able to save time while writing the actual paper. And I've scored 123 twice now in GS4. And one thing which I would say that works is also that you need to pay equal attention to the part A. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम केस स्टडीज पे ही ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं, एंड फिर पार्ट ए थोड़ा इग्नोर हो जाता है, तो उससे स्कोर में प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है. देन यू विल स्टैग्नेट अराउंड 100, which I've seen with aspirants. So I would say that one that you can keep in mind is that pay equal attention. And again, for GS4 you would need a lot of practice, because it's a relatively longer paper. तो वो भी आप ध्यान में रखिएगा that you have tests. And somebody had asked me in the comments that what tests I referred to. So for me, it was two. For mains, I was part of MGP of Forum IS, and I used to write Abhyas as well. So those were the main test series that I did for GS papers. In MGP, again, you can take a variant which also has essay. So that was also there. Now I'll briefly discuss essay paper. So for essay, the base material is the same that we study in the rest of the papers. So उसमें क्या होता है कि फिर आपको अपने शॉर्ट नोट्स थोड़े बनाने होते हैं. तो दैट वाज देयर. सो उसमें मैं क्या करती थी कि जैसे हिस्ट्री से एग्जांपल्स निकाल लिए, सोसाइटी से एग्जांपल निकाले, जो सब्जेक्ट आप पढ़ रहे हैं जीएस के लिए, उसी में से आप डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एग्जाम्पल्स कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, एनेक्डोट्स कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, कोटेशंस हम GS4 के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं, दे कैन अगेन बी यूज्ड इन ऐसे। सो उसके लिए आपको बहुत ज़्यादा आई वुड से बहुत सेपरेट मटेरियल रेफर करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। प्री 2020 क्या होता था कि टॉपिक वाइज आते थे, जैसे एजुकेशन पे आ गया, विमेन पे आ गया, अब डायरेक्टली वैसे नहीं आते हैं, बट अगेन वी कांट टेक द रिस्क, कभी भी आ सकता है। तो सोशल जस्टिस सोसाइटी में ये सब चीज़ें कवर करते हैं हम, तो उस पे आप कुछ पॉइंटर्स बना के रख सकते हैं, विमेन पे कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज कभी कभी आ जाता है, मतलब इनडायरेक्टली फिलोसफिकल आ जाएगा विमेन पे, तो उस पे भी आपके पास कुछ अच्छे एग्जाम्पल्स, कुछ कोटेशंस किसी ने अच्छी बोली हो विमेन एम्पावरमेंट पे, तो वो सब होना चाहिए, तो दैट यू कैन सी। सो यही था, मतलब टॉपिकल के लिए आई हैड सर्टेन मटेरियल फ्रॉम सोशल जस्टिस एंड सोसाइटी ऑन दीज थिंग्स, and for philosophical essays I had my notes which included this only. It included quotes, it included anecdotes, examples, short poems, कैसे conclude कर सकती हूँ मैं creatively, तो that was there and it was compiled from different I would say coaching materials। मतलब आप कहीं भी सर्च करेंगे कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे शॉर्ट विजन का होगा, शून्य IS का होता है, और थोड़ा टेस्ट सीरीज जो आप लेंगे, जैसे मैं MGP लेती थी तो उसमें से भी मैं काफ़ी चीज़ें नोट डाउन कर लेती थी सोल्यूशंस में से, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ वे टू गो अबाउट वैल्यू एडिशन। So that was there. Coming to how I used to structure my essay, this year I've scored 117, which is again a good score for this year. So what I'd done was that I used to give 1.5 pages to the introduction. The body used to be around 8 pages, जिसमें से 4 page was dedicated only addressing the main demand of the topic. What I've seen in essay, because I've also done evaluation, तो एक मिस्टेक मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा दिखती है, विच इज़ कि लोग एक्चुअल टॉपिक एड्रेस नहीं करते हैं, उसका मतलब काउंटर कर देंगे या एडिशनल डायमेंशन कुछ ले आएंगे, विच इज़ नॉट एडवाइजेबल। आप पहले टॉपिक ही एड्रेस करिए, कम से कम 4-5 पेजेस आप टॉपिक ही एड्रेस करिए, एंड उसके बाद क्योंकि हमें और लिखना होता है तो 2-3 पेजेस में आप कुछ इम्प्लीकेशन, रीजनिंग, कुछ उस टाइप का मेंशन कर सकते हैं, और फिर 1-2 पेजेस में काउंटर करिए, स्टार्टिंग से ही काउंटर मत करिए टॉपिक। और फिर एंड देन अगेन 2 पेजेस यूज्ड टू बी फॉर कंक्लूजन। तो इसमें क्या होता था कि एक पेनल्टिमेट कंक्लूजन होता है और फिर एक अल्टीमेट कंक्लूजन होता है, जिसमें आप कुछ कैची लिखते हैं। पेनल्टिमेट में होता है कि आप धीरे धीरे कंक्लूजन की तरफ ला रहे हैं, तो उसमें वे फॉरवर्ड हो गया या कुछ ऐसा, मतलब ऐसी, मतलब कुछ स्टेप्स लेने हुए, तो उस टाइप की चीज़ें उसमें जाती हैं, तो इट गिव्स अ मोर होलिस्टिक कंक्लूजन। सो अब्रप्ट नहीं होना चाहिए। सो दैट वाज द स्ट्रक्चर दैट आई फॉलोड फॉर एसे। एंड कुछ आई वुड से दैट सर्टेन मिस्टेक्स आई हैव सीन पीपल मेक, तो वो मत करिएगा ऐसे में, बिकॉज अगेन ऐसे आई फील इज अ पेपर जो काफ़ी स्कोरिंग है विद कंपैरेटिवली लेसर एफर्ट्स। तो उसमें एक तो पहली बात होगा कि आप टॉपिक अच्छे से चूज कीजिए। कई बार ये होता है कि हम जल्दी में कोई टॉपिक चूज कर लेते हैं जिसपे हमें ज़्यादा कंटेंट ही नहीं मिलता है, तो इतना टाइम होता है ऐसे पेपर में, टाइम का क्रंच आपको नहीं होगा, तो आप 5-10 मिनट दीजिए और फिर टॉपिक सिलेक्ट करिए जिसकी डिमांड आपको फुल्ली समझ आ रही है, थोड़ा ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कर लीजिए कि कंटेंट आ रहा है कि नहीं, वो करिए। तो दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग। सेकेंड वुड बी नॉट गिविंग आर्ग्यूमेंट्स एंड जस्ट फिलिंग द पेपर विथ एग्जाम्पल्स। तो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स और एग्जाम्पल्स का पर्पस अलग होता है। आर्ग्यूमेंट्स आर फॉर जस्टिफाइंग द टॉपिक, तो और एग्जाम्पल उस जस्टिफिकेशन को सब्सटैंशिएट करने के लिए होता है। तो आप सिर्फ एग्जाम्पल से ना भरिए, आर्ग्यूमेंट्स भी लिखिए, एटलीस्ट 4 आर्ग्यूमेंट्स तो आपके होने चाहिए सपोर्टिंग द टॉपिक। सो दैट इज देयर। और वही होता है कि जो मैंने पहले मेंशन किया था कि आप डिमांड को एड्रेस करने का स्पेस ना देके आप एडिशनल डायमेंशंस पे चले जाएं, तो वो सही नहीं होता है। मेन जो आपका स्पेस होना चाहिए वो मेन डिमांड के लिए ही होनी चाहिए। सो दैट इज द थर्ड थिंग दैट यू शुड कीप इन माइंड। और एक चीज़ जो मैंने देखी है वो होता है कि फ्लो नहीं होता है नेचुरल एसेज में। इसको आई वुड अग्री दैट इसको डेवलप करने के लिए थोड़ा स्किल चाहिए होता है, थोड़ा आपको एसेज लिखने होंगे, वीक में एक बार लिख लीजिए, इट्स अ गुड ब्रेक। मतलब थोड़ा कंपैरेटिवली लाइटर होता है ऐसे के लिए प्रिपेयर करना, सो दैट इज समथिंग यू कैन डू। तो उसमें मतलब ट्रांजिशन कैसे स्मूथली करनी है, जैसे मैं आई यूज्ड टू यूज शॉर्ट पैराग्राफ्स और क्वेश्चंस थोड़ा फ्लो लाने के लिए, सो यू कैन चूज द मेथड वट एवर सूट्स यू। सो दैट इज देयर। I think I've discussed essay also well. So the papers are mains papers are done. I would briefly discuss my optional. So my optional was economics, and it was also the subject that I had for graduation. So economics में क्या होता है? Again, there's paper 1, which is more technical, and paper 2 is Indian economy. So for me, I had referred to the books only. I had not joined any coaching. मैंने टेस्ट सीरीज ली थी और PYQs का एक कोर्स लिया था, बट आई हैड नॉट जॉइन एनी कोचिंग फॉर द प्रिपरेशन बिकॉज आई फेल दैट ओके मोस्ट ऑफ इट वाज ओवरलैपिंग फ्रॉम माय ग्रेजुएशन। तो आप वैसे डिसाइड कर सकते हैं इफ़ यू टेक द सेम सब्जेक्ट, जैसे आपने सोशियोलॉजी ऑनर्स किया और आप सोशियोलॉजी ही ले लें, तो मे बी यू डोंट नीड डिटेल क्लासेस फॉर इट, तो आप वैसे देख सकते हैं. तो दैट इज़ हाउ आई टुक द डिसीजन ऑफ नॉट जॉइनिंग अ कोचिंग फॉर ऑप्शनल. Uh, and then for me, the book list was very, very standard because I made my own notes from them. And so for micro and macro, there is H.L. Ahuja, that is there. For international economics, we have Salvatore. For the growth and development part, we have, I had my readings, which was a good source for it. And I had also referred to Topper's notes. There is Kumar Anurag sir's notes that are available, and Priya Rani ma'am's notes are available, so you can do that. Then public finance is there, and then there's environmental economics also, which you can do from the readings that is there. So that was the main thing. And for Indian economy, now this is the more dynamic portion. So there is Uma Kapila, but it's not enough. So again, I had to Google a lot the syllabus topics, and I had to refer to Topper's notes. So it was it was a compilation of reading the basic sources, then going through Topper's notes as well. And what I focused more in economics was the PYQs rather than the tests, because I'd understood that there's a lot of repetition that happens, and I'm sure it's the same for most optionals. So that was there for economics briefly, because I'm assuming that most of you won't be from economics optional, and I've covered it in detail. I have a video of it uploaded on my Telegram channel, so I'm not going that much in detail. You could refer to that. Coming to interview, this is, I would say, the most interesting part of the preparation, because you get to learn more about yourself. So that is very fun to do also. So here what happens is you will get to fill a detailed application form, and it will contain all the basic information about you, the states you belong to, your educational background, your hobbies, your achievements. So that is there. You get to decide, basically, in a way, you get to decide what your syllabus is. So please fill it, take some time and then fill it, discuss with your mentors and everything, and then come to a conclusion. So now what you have to do is basically you have to prepare enough content for all of these keywords that you have given in your DAF, so that you are able to at least answer the basic questions that they ask. For example, my hobby was badminton, and in my actual interview also I was asked that who my favorite player is, what is the dimension of a badminton court. So these are very basic level questions which you will be preparing what for whatever hobby you give. So that is there. And then the second pillar is also the states that you mentioned. For example, I'm mainly from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, so I had to prepare them in detail, the issues. For example, if you are from Bihar, you could be asked that why is there an out migration problem in Bihar, and what is the government doing for it. So these questions you'll have to develop an opinion on. So that is there. But don't worry, you will get enough help for it. Coachings will give you some compilation. There are a lot of compilations for states and everything, so you'll have enough material. You just have to be concise in developing your opinion on the issues and just practice it. So, and that is fun, trust me. So another pillar is the current affairs, and here actually you have to read the newspaper in detail. So I did Indian Express, and I also did Mint because of my optional, which is economics and very dynamic. So I had to refer to two newspapers. And basically, what you have to do is whatever ongoing issue is there, you have to develop your own stance on it. You're asked that. And what you have to make sure is that it's a balanced stand that you can also justify. So it has to be rational, it has to be logical. It cannot be an emotional stand. So you have to practice it. And also your optional also becomes important, because they can ask you theoretical questions. Somebody could be a professor from that subject in your board. So that is very important. And because my optional was very dynamic, so it added to my current affairs preparation as well. So that was there. And what I would say is that your peer group becomes very important, because you will be sitting and having discussions, especially on current affairs, for your state, for your hobbies. Groups are formed based on that. So that is a very, very fun part of this preparation. So I hope all of you get to that stage. Now I'll be taking doubts from the live, because I've covered mostly everything that I had to do. So I'll be taking up the questions from live, and the questions that I've got. The first one is, how did you do CSAT exam maths? So Again, I would say that you can identify what your strength areas are. As I mentioned, I liked logical reasoning more, so I'd prepared more on that. And for that, any booklet you can pick up from coachings, which would have some, basic formulas and all. So that was there, and I used to refer to a lot of YouTube videos also. Just type the topic and type UPSC, you'll get some or the other coaching videos on it. So you can prepare it like that and just have that formula sheet with you. So that's how I did CSAT. And again, PYQ practice really helps because they'll have solutions also for it. So you can refer to that, do a bit of reverse learning. Somebody has asked if I did Bear Axe for Polity. I did not do it. I did purchase that book once, but it was too much for me. Uh, Again, I would say that it's not really required. Articles आपको मतलब लक्ष्मीकांत में भी मिलेंगे, तो I would say that that's enough. If you're able to remember that, that's also enough. So I would say that not required. When should I start answer writing after completing this? I would say that start answer writing. There's no particular time. I started as soon as I started my preparation. For example, I started with polity. I remember I wrote answers of polity, and they were really bad answers. They were paragraph based. I did not know what I was doing, but you have to start because there's a lot of inertia for answer writing. And I've told this multiple times that it is a process. From day one nahi aayega. It is a skill that you have to develop, but just start. गंदे आंसर्स लिखो, बड़े लंबे पैराग्राफ्स में लिखो, बट लिखो. सो आई वुड से दैट आप जो सब्जेक्ट पढ़ रहे हो आप उसके PYQs उठा लो. जैसे आपने मतलब पॉलिटी ही उठा लिया है, उसका फर्स्ट चैप्टर सेकंड चैप्टर जो भी है उससे कोई क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है, जैसे प्रियम्बल से क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है तो आप प्रियम्बल के क्वेश्चन लिखो. दैट्स द फोर्थ चैप्टर आई फ्रॉम व्हाट आई कैन रिकॉल इन. तो फिर आप उससे लिखना शुरू कर दो. Somebody has mentioned that what to do if your vocabulary is not that good in English. You still have time to choose your medium. If you don't feel that confident in English, आप हिंदी ले लो. ऐसा नहीं है, हिंदी से भी लोग आ रहे हैं, टॉपर्स आ रहे हैं हर साल. तो इट्स नॉट एन इशू. एंड ऐसे अगर आप वोकेबलरी की बात कर रहे हो तो डे वन से तो किसी की भी वोकेबलरी एकदम यूपीएससी वाली नहीं होती है बिकॉज हम उतना डाइवर्स पढ़ते नहीं हैं. तो आई वुड से दैट उसका आप अभी से टेंशन मत लो, वो प्रोसेस में भी डेवलप हो जाता है. शॉर्ट नोट्स आई हैड कवर्ड कि शॉर्ट नोट्स तो पहले आप बेस नोट्स बनाओगे, फिर शॉर्ट नोट्स ऐसे बनते हैं जिसमें मतलब आप वही चीज़ें लिखोगे जो आप भूलते हो या जो आप चाहते हो कि मुझे ये चीज़ आंसर में लिखनी है. उसमें डेटा होता है, उसमें कुछ केस स्टडीज़ होंगी, एग्जाम्पल्स होंगे, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस होंगी. तो उस हिसाब से शॉर्ट नोट्स बनते हैं. एंड आप जो सोल्यूशंस आप टेस्ट लिखोगे उसके सोल्यूशन से भी आपको कुछ अच्छा मटेरियल मिलेगा, वो आप डालोगे. तो शॉर्ट नोट्स तो मतलब शॉर्ट नोट्स का अभी से मतलब टेंशन मत लो. वो जब मतलब वो प्रीलिम्स और मेंस का टाइम होता है उसमें भी बन जाते हैं वो काफ़ी अच्छे. तो दैट इज़ देयर. और प्रीलिम्स का मैंने बताया था कि प्रीलिम्स में मैं शॉर्ट नोट्स वैसे होते थे जो मुझे लगता था कि ये वाले जो टॉपिक्स हैं ये उतना मतलब कवर नहीं हो रहे हैं ऐसे करके. एंड दे कुड गिव मी लाइक 2-3 क्वेश्चंस का एज. जैसे इंटरनेशनल रिपोर्ट्स के मेरे पास शॉर्ट नोट्स थे, तो गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स के मैं शॉर्ट नोट्स बना लेती थी विच वाज जस्ट स्कीम एंड द मिनिस्ट्री ऐसे. तो मतलब उस टाइप का यू कैन सी मैपिंग के मेरे अच्छे शॉर्ट नोट्स थे इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस एंड ऑल के. तो आप उस हिसाब से शॉर्ट नोट्स में डाल सकते हो जो आपको लगे कि ठीक है दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट, और वो इंपॉर्टेंस पता चलती है PYQs देख के. समबडी हैज आस्क्ड कि मेंस के सिलेबस में टाइम लग रहा है तो उसको जल्दी कैसे कर सकते हैं. तो आई वुड से दैट कि आप मतलब जब आप अपना शेड्यूल बनाओगे कोई भी मंथ का ऐसे करके, तो उसमें आप एक डेडिकेटेड टाइम ही रखिए. एंड दैट वुड डिपेंड कि आप कौन सा अटेम्प्ट टारगेट कर रहे हैं. जैसे अगर आप 2027 टारगेट कर रहे हैं तो आपके पास बहुत टाइम नहीं है, तो आप उस हिसाब से जैसे 15 डेज फॉर दिस 15 डेज फॉर दैट, तो उतना ही गैप रखिए. अब अगर आप 2028-9 ऐसे टारगेट कर रहे हैं then it's fine even if one subject is taking 2 months, then it's you can afford that. Should we give importance to world history? Again, I would say that you cannot skip any topic क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता, पता चला आप skip करके चले गए और उस साल 3 क्वेश्चन आ गए वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री से, ये हुआ है. तो यू कांट अफोर्ड दैट. वो चेंज कर देते हैं वेटेज. तो आपको करना तो है ही, बट ऑब्वियसली इट शुड बी गिवन लेसर टाइम, जैसे 4 days 5 days, नॉट मोर देन दैट. तो आई वुड से कि आप वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री उस हिसाब से करिए. जैसे मैंने बताया है कि मैंने एक बुकलेट ली थी, आई डिड नॉट रेफर टू मल्टीपल सोर्सेज, मतलब कोई क्लासेस वगैरह नहीं करी थी. इट वाज अ बुकलेट ऑफ विजन IAS. और उसके बाद मैंने PYQs में देख लिया था कि क्या क्या आते हैं, क्या क्या टॉपिक्स आते हैं. जैसे वर्ल्ड वॉर्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो उन पे आपके पास मटेरियल अच्छा होना चाहिए। सो जस्ट मेक श्योर कि पीवाईक्यूज कवर्ड है आपके नोट्स में, और आपने बेसिक जो उन्होंने मेंशन किया है उतना आपने करा हुआ है जो सिलेबस में है। Somebody had asked that how do you reduce comparisons from others and the fact that it affects mental health. I would agree, बहुत मतलब ये चीज़ तो होती है, and especially अगर आपकी जर्नी थोड़ी लंबी खिंच जाए तो that is there. आप अपने peers से भी comparison कर रहे होते हो कि वो लाइफ में आगे निकल गए हैं, and your life is still the same. So what I used to do was कि मेरा बहुत ही internal metric था of टेस्टिंग कि इफ़ आई एम मूविंग अहेड इन दिस साइकिल और नॉट। तो आई यूज टू ओनली फोकस ऑन दैट। मतलब बहुत ही ऐसे शॉर्ट टर्म मैंने फोकस कर दिया था, बिल्कुल ब्लिंकर्स ऑन वाला चल रहा था ऐसे करके। थोड़ा आपको नॉइज जोन आउट करना पड़ता है, वरना इट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू सस्टेन इन दिस प्रेपरेशन साइकिल। तो दैट इज़ व्हाट आई विल रिकमेंड कि जस्ट हैव योर ओन मेट्रिक्स कि आप इस टेस्ट में कितना कर रहे हो, आपका प्रोग्रेस हुआ, नेक्स्ट टेस्ट में उससे बेटर हुआ कि नहीं, ऐसे करके जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर प्रेपरेशन, ऐसे करके आप अपने टारगेट्स मीट कर पा रहे हो कि नहीं ऐसे। एंड देन ऑल्सो रिमेंबर टू रिवॉर्ड योर सेल्फ। मतलब कई बार ऐसा होता है, आई डिड द सेम इनिशियली इन माई फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट्स, इज दैट कि मेरा बिल्कुल ही वैसे हो गया था कि आई वुड आइसोलेट माई सेल्फ, ऐसे किसी से बात नहीं करनी है। तो दैट बिकम्स वेरी वेरी बैड फॉर मेंटल हेल्थ, एंड मेरे साथ हुआ भी था कि एक्सट्रीम बर्नआउट था मुझे आफ्टर माई 3rd अटेम्प्ट। सो आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड दैट। मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए आपको मतलब you have to keep yourself happy, you have to just focus on your preparation and whether you're moving ahead or not. तो थोड़ा zone out करिए। You can reduce social media interactions. I was not on Instagram, or and even WhatsApp was very limited, so the noise I had cut out. One question also I get is that I've done my 11th or 12th and how to prepare. I would say that मतलब I personally don't recommend कि आप एकदम अभी से full on UPSC की preparation में लग जाएं, because like college is also an experience that you only get once. So I would say that मतलब बेसिक आप कर सकते हो, आप NCERTs पढ़ सकते हो, थोड़ा न्यूज़पेपर से टच रखिए डे 1 से ऐसे। बट आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड कि आप एकदम मतलब कोचिंग की रेस में लग जाएं, या मतलब बिल्कुल ही उस प्रेपरेशन में। मे बी फ्रॉम 3rd ईयर आई वुड से कि सर्टनली 3rd ईयर या 2nd ईयर के जो 2nd सेमेस्टर होता है उससे आप स्टार्ट करना देख सकते हैं, मतलब कोचिंग वगैरह अगर आपको करनी है। बट बिल्कुल 11th में एंड 12th में तो आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड। मतलब कोई भी फेज लाइफ का स्किप नहीं करना चाहिए। तो आई डोंट हैव अ प्लान फॉर यू। आई वुड जस्ट से दैट स्टिक टू द बेसिक। एक बार देख लीजिए, सिलेबस देख लीजिए, जस्ट सी इफ द एग्जाम इज राइट फॉर यू, इफ इट्स समथिंग विच यू एक्चुअली वांट फॉर योरसेल्फ। तो वैसे टाइप के डिसीजंस आप ले सकते हैं, थोड़ा पढ़ के देख लीजिए एनसीईआरटीज एंड ऑल। तो दैट इज देयर। Somebody has mentioned that vision is close, so how to do PT and mains 365? Yeah, I would say that other coachings would come up with alternatives. मतलब सारथी IS है, नेक्स्ट IS है, आप उनका करंट अफेयर्स मटेरियल देख लीजिए, दे ऑल्सो हैव गुड फैकल्टी। तो आप यू कैन स्विच टू देयर करंट कंपाइलेशंस। सो आई हैव नॉट डन इट, तो मतलब मैं वैसे नहीं बोल रही हूँ, बट मतलब कोचिंग्स की क्वालिटी ठीक है, तो आई वुड से कि उनका मतलब ऑल्टरनेटिव वुड बी गुड इनफ, तो आप वो देख सकते हो। Somebody has mentioned that is competition a real thing, or if you study well the selection would be certain. I would say that competition उतना तो नहीं है जितना हमें दिखता है, मतलब जितना numbers में दिखता है कि इतने लाख लोग हैं, इतना ये है। It's not that, but हाँ certainly मतलब I would say that top 40,000 50,000 में the competition is intense. But again, one thing which I've noticed is common in rankers, and I've seen this with my friends, is that people who are very consistent with their work, they do make it. कंसिस्टेंट इन द टर्म्स ऑफ ऑल्सो बीइंग ऑब्जेक्टिव। कई बार ऐसा होता है कि आई हैव सीन पीपल लाइक दैट ऑल्सो, कि उनको लग रहा होता है कि वो बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं ऐसे करके, फिर क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, फिर आई हैव सीन दैट। बट एक्चुअली क्या हो रहा था कि दे आर नॉट ऑनेस्ट विद देमसेल्व्स ऐसे करके। यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी ब्रूटल विद योर सेल्फ कि ठीक है, मतलब इफ दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग, मतलब इफ आई एम नॉट राइटिंग गुड आंसर्स, वाई इज इट दैट आई एम नॉट राइटिंग गुड आंसर्स। जैसे मेरे साथ एक था कि आई हैड इनर्शिया इन आंसर राइटिंग, तो मतलब वो गैप हो जाता था ऐसे करके, एंड तो आई हैड आइडेंटिफाइड दैट। तो व्हाट आई डिड वाज कि अगर मैं एफएलटी नहीं भी लिख रही होती थी तो आई यूज्ड टू कॉन्स्टेंटली ब्रेनस्टॉर्म। मतलब मैं लिखने की प्रैक्टिस फिर मैंने डेली बेसिस पे करना शुरू कर दिया था, विच बिकॉज मेंस वाज एन इशू फॉर मी। तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी ऑब्जेक्टिव कि आप सही कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो। तभी मैंने बोला था कि आप मेट्रिक्स भी वैसे रखिए कि स्कोर्स बढ़ रहे हैं, कि स्कोर्स कम आना एक दो टेस्ट में नॉर्मल, सबके साथ होता है ऐसे करके। बट अगर कंसिस्टेंटली मतलब आप टेस्ट दे रहे हो और सब में लो ही आ रहा है, देन यू हैव टू सिट एंड आस्क कि क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है। सो दैट इज देयर। Somebody has mentioned that they are facing problem with consistency. इसमें I would say that what I'd identified कि if I was not consistent, I was not making a proper schedule. मतलब अगर आप बहुत हद से ज़्यादा टारगेट्स डाल दोगे, बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक दिन के लिए लिख दोगे कि ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, तो नहीं हो पाता बिकॉज़ यू कांट कीप स्विचिंग लाइक दैट कि आप आज पॉलिटी भी कर रहे हो, ज्योग्राफी भी कर रहे हो, सोसाइटी भी आज ही करेंगे, एथिक्स भी आज ही करेंगे, वो नहीं हो पाता है फिर। लाइक हाउ आई डिवाइडेड माय डे वाज़ कि फर्स्ट स्लॉट यूज्ड टू बी ऑप्शनल, फिर सेकंड स्लॉट में एनी जीएस थिंग, इफ इट वाज प्रीलिम सम प्रीलिम सब्जेक्ट, or if it was closer to mains then some main subject, and at the end of the day it was for current affairs and value addition, so some lighter stuff. So आप डे वैसे डिवाइड करिए कि सबसे डिफिकल्ट काम स्टार्टिंग में है, फिर बहुत ज़्यादा टास्क मत रखिए, 3-4 टास्क ऐसे, सो दैट इज़ इनफ। एंड आवर्स ऑल्सो आई गेट इट आउट कि कितने आवर्स करना होता है। तो इफ इट वॉज नॉट क्लोजर टू द एग्जामिनेशन डेट प्रीलिम्स या मेंस तो मेरा 7-8 घंटे होता था, बट इफ इट वॉज क्लोजर एंड स्पेसिफिकली फॉर मेंस तो 12 घंटे भी चला जाता था, बिकॉज अगेन इट्स अ वेरी कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड टाइम एंड मेंस ही होता है मतलब जिसमें आप सबसे ज़्यादा गैप कवर कर सकते हो, एंड सबसे प्रिडिक्टेबल आपके हाथ में भी मेंस ही होता है, तो उस टाइम आवर्स बढ़ते हैं, बट वो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा। तो ऐसे डरना नहीं है अभी से कि मतलब इतने घंटे पढ़ना होगा, वो आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि आप कितने घंटे पढ़ रहे हो। वन डाउट इज देयर दैट फेलियर के साथ कैसे डील करें। This is difficult, I would say that I also had to face this because again didn't clear for didn't get anything for 3 attempts. So yeah, for me again one thing was that removing all the noise. तो जितने भी ऐसे negative friends थे मेरे जिनका ऐसे होता था कि मत कर, छोड़ दे, कुछ और कर ले, ये वो ऐसे करके, I had to take that call of removing them from my life. तो ऐसे लोगों से मैं टच में ही नहीं रहती थी जो मुझे डिमोटिवेट कर दे। तो गेटिंग अ गुड पीयर ग्रुप इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो मेरे आसपास मतलब वैसे 2-3 ही लोग थे हु गेव मी अनकंडीशनल सपोर्ट। तो वो आपको देखना पड़ेगा, आपके आसपास अगर नेगेटिव लोग हैं तो प्लीज़ उनसे दूर रहिए फिर ऐसे। और आई विल टेल यू दिस ऑल्सो कि अगर आपको अभी लग रहा है कि ये छूट जाएंगे, ये वो आपका सिलेक्शन होगा, वो भी वापस आ जाएंगे, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट। तो दैट इज़ देयर। तो ऑन सेकंड वुड बी कि यू हैव टू रिमेंबर कि आप क्यों कर रहे हैं एंड लाइक व्हाट डू यू नॉट वांट इन लाइफ। जैसे मैंने मेंशन किया था कि थर्ड अटेम्प्ट के बाद आई फेल्ट कि ठीक है मतलब शायद नहीं होगा या ऐसे कंटिन्यू करूँ ना करूँ, बट मेरे अंदर वही था कि यार जो मैंने सोचा है, मतलब जो मैंने चीज़ें आइडेंटिफाई की है वो मैं इम्प्लीमेंट किए बिना नहीं जा सकती। जैसे आई गॉट सिलेक्टेड एट 26, तो मेरे दिमाग में था कि यार इफ व्हेन आई एम 40 और 50 और समथिंग, आई डोंट वांट टू लुक बैक एंड थिंक यार उस टाइम अगर कर लिया होता वो इम्प्लीमेंट या हिम्मत दिखा दी होती तो आज लाइफ कुछ और होती। तो आई हैड दैट मेट्रिक। तो इस उसकी वजह से भी थोड़ा फेलियर से डील करना आसान हुआ। और तीसरा एक चीज़ था कि मुझे एक एडवाइस मिली थी विच वाज कि आप अपना वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो देख लो और उसके लिए सॉल्व कर लो। तो वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो था कि इसके थ्रू जॉब नहीं लगेगी। तो आई तो एज वी मेंशन दैट प्लान बी ऐसे करके, तो आई हैड स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन प्लान बी ऐसे। आई एम फ्रॉम एन इकोनॉमिक्स बैकग्राउंड, तो आई हैड गिवन आरबीआई ऑल्सो दिस टाइम। तो ऐसा था कि ठीक है, नाउ आई डाइवर्सिफाई, आई गिव बैंक एग्जाम्स ऑल्सो, एंड because again I had an interest in economics and my maths was decent, so you can, depending on your background, select ki what kind of backup you want. Political consultancy was also something I was looking at because UPSC aspirants can diversify to that, तो as per your background you can decide. तो इन सब चीज़ों से थोड़ा वो फेलियर का डर कम होता है, I would say. Somebody has asked this doubt that how did you develop an original analytical voice and answers instead of unconsciously reproducing coaching material? Yeah, basically what happens is when you are able to identify the demand, which also takes practice to reach that level. For me, it was brainstorming. You'll be able to answer in the way that they want. तो आपको कोचिंग मटेरियल तो एग्जैक्ट रेप्लिकेट हो ही नहीं पाएगा ना, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन ही वो नहीं है। जैसे क्या होता है कि इन एथिक्स क्वेश्चन दे गिव यू सम 1-2 लाइन का कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड देन दे आस्क द रियल क्वेश्चन, तो यू हैव टू आंसर वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट देखते हुए आपको आंसर करना है ऐसे करके, तो वो थोड़ा नेचुरल आ ही जाता है ऐसे करके, बिकॉज इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट, बिकॉज एग्जैक्टली वैसे आते ही नहीं है क्वेश्चन, मतलब मेंस में क्वेश्चन आते ही थोड़े एनालिटिकल है, तो यू हैव टू बी अ लिटिल ओरिजिनल इन दैट। तो वो ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग वगैरह करने से वो उस वॉइस में आंसर करना आपको आ जाएगा, तो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट। Somebody had asked which is the best online coaching. I currently I'm not aware that best market में क्या चल रहा है, because in my last 2 attempts also I had not taken any classes. I was earlier associated with Rouse, and test series के लिए I have done forum and vision only mostly. So and kuch ek module courses I taken from Sarthi. So I don't think that I'm suitable to answer this. You'll have to do your own research. Somebody has mentioned that while studying, you sometimes get distracted and there are thoughts that happens. So what I used to do was I used to keep my phone separate. I used to switch it off as a focus mode पे कर देती थी, and I used to have very small slots first. जैसे मेरा होता था कि 25 जैसे 25 minutes of concentration and then 5 minutes break, तो वैसे करके you can structure it, and then once you are able to do it तो आप उसको increase कर सकते हो, जैसे 55 minutes and 5 minutes ऐसे करके. तो that's how I used to plan कि in the 5 minutes break I will think those thoughts. So it again became like a reward thing for focusing. Then you get to be distracted for 5 minutes. So you can try that method. Somebody has asked us again. I have said that 7, 8 generally, and if it was closer to exam, then around 12. Somebody has asked what is the most important strategy. I would say consistency and having a very good objective analysis of where you stand. Two things I would recommend. Somebody has asked if it's a requisite to substantiate each point with data or example. I would say that it is not a requisite, but you should certainly aim for it, because now the competition is at that level ki everybody is doing it. So when you don't do it, then your copy will stand out in a negative way. So matlab, this time though I flooded my answers with data and everything. So and it worked for me. I have scored 424 in GS this time. So I would recommend that if it as much as possible you should substantiate. But again, ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो substantiation ही आपका main point है. मतलब you have to write something and then add it as a value addition. So I would say that yes, it certainly helps. Somebody has asked what is the best stream. Again, there are people with very diverse backgrounds that are getting selected. You can see in the rank list this time also. So there's no best stream. Stream आप UPSC सोच के मत select करिए. I had selected economics because I had that thought that even if UPSC doesn't work out, then I can do an MBA. So I would say that don't select something specifically for UPSC. It is unpredictable, sadly. So I would say that थोड़ा मतलब interest के हिसाब से देखिए, rather than that decision being based on this. For how to maintain consistency, I had earlier answered this only, that have a realistic schedule. Otherwise, consistency बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा if you're targeting too many things all at once. Somebody has asked that if they are in college second year, then how can when should I start preparing? You can actually start with the syllabus that I mentioned, that आप थोड़ा syllabus देख लीजिए, book list shortlist कर लीजिए, थोड़ी NCERT start कर सकते हैं, newspaper थोड़ा, not making notes of it, don't make notes of it right now, but just developing that habit. So I think for college that is enough. And if you're targeting the attempt right after college, then in third year you can dedicate a good amount of time for it. But since you are in second year, so I would say that just start getting into that zone. Somebody has mentioned their scores are low in graduation. Would it have an issue? I don't think so. मतलब इतना तो वो focus नहीं करते हैं on CGPAs and all, and it'll only be visible at the interview stage, and they don't really ask this. Maybe like one question can get asked, so you can justify that you were focusing on something else or you were focused on getting a job or something. So it is not reflected. So the marks are not that much, but that can be prepared. So I don't think that's an issue at all. Somebody has asked if English is necessary for interview. No, you get a choice. So it's not necessary. You can pick the medium you're more comfortable in. I think I've now the questions are getting repeated and I've covered most of them. So I would be closing the live now. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you find it helpful.